You are now in tune to the Keys to the City podcast.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Keys to the City. I'm your host, Trevor Keys, alongside the big brother, Ted Keys. You can check out Keys to the City at clovercrestmedia.com. Visit the website, as well as social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Keys to the City, as well as Spotify and YouTube. Ted, I'm looking at our colors right now. And it's kind of the way the NFL season has been going on. It's been a very spooky season right now. Unexpected. Every week, it's almost just like we got a time will tell type each and every week. We got Geno Smith, I think, wearing the Geno Smith from West Virginia days, looking like, oh my God, what's going on with Geno Smith? It's the resurgence of Geno Smith.
It looks like Russell Wilson before Russell Wilson.
What the hell's going on? We got Patrick Mahomes reenacting Houdini. Like, what's just going on? The New York Giants are 3-1. I mean, this season, each and every week, it's almost just like well, what are you going to give me now in the NFL season?
I'll tell you what it's going to give you. It's going to give you something we've talked about before multiple times on this show. Why this sport is the best. It's parity, bro.
I love it. I love it.
I know we're not going to do it today, and we'll probably talk more tomorrow next week with what we think of our overachievers, underachievers, but right now,
contenders and stuff like that. All next week.
We're going to come out with our power rankings later on today or the next couple of days.
I think one of us has a new number. I think one of us has a new number one, but we're going to have to stay tuned.
The way I look at it is there's 4 top teams right now. They've kind of separated themselves, and then there's another tier right under there where they're competitive, but we don't know where they stand. And then it's everyone else. I think 4 teams, I think it's pretty obvious who are the 4 best teams right now.
We do we? I don't know yet, because a lot of people are up and down. And that's the thing. Both of these conferences, you think about these conferences right now. The AFC, a whole preseason, we've been saying this is going to be the craziest conference we've ever seen in the history of the NFL. Well, it's been, but for different reasons. Teams have been underperforming, have been disappointing, have been impressing, but also there's been those teams that just have the major question marks. And then you see the NFC right now. The NFC has been major. You want to talk about question marks? It looks like all the teams that have been dominating the NFC for some time have the major glaring question marks going on. But then you got a team like the Philadelphia Eagles who are 4-0, but not a lot of people are buying in to the Philadelphia Eagles, even though they are the lone undefeated team currently in this NFL right now going into week 5. But Ted, it was about last night. And I don't know if you remember, but our preseason predictions were I had this team representing the NFC in the Super Bowl.
So did I.
And you look at this team and with the way I know that the Rams have struggling. The history of the Rams and Sean McVay, he is 4-8 against Kyle Shanahan and this 49ers team. You look at how this NFC has been played out so far. The Bucs, well, the offensive line has been the major concern. The Packers, I think they're starting to get a rhythm. They're starting to figure out things, but they still have that. Well, they just don't know. I don't know what to make of the Packers. Then you got the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys have been playing great without the absence of Dak Prescott. Cooper Rush is still undefeated. That defense has been dominant, and they're just finding ways to win. It hasn't been pretty, but they are finding ways to win. Then you got teams like the New York Giants are 3-1. And then I said the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles. Yes, they are 4-0. But not a lot of people are buying into them. I, for one, I think they are legit. They have a well-balanced team overall from top to bottom. But, Ted, you look at this 49ers team. Are we fully in on the stock of the San Francisco 49ers right now? This is the team that, I don't know, could be. We just saw this team in the NFC title game. So it's not like this team is new to the game. This team has been here. This team has been competitive over the years. It's been in NFC title games. It's been to Super Bowls. Are we buying fully into the 49ers stock right now?
I am more so last night after watching the game. Now, I had them in the Super Bowl against the Chargers. I have the Chargers beating the 49ers in the Super Bowl. Right now, the Chargers don't look too damn good right now, especially with the major key injuries that they're dealing with. But things can change. We know that. I mean, the 49ers also are dealing with injury. Trent Williams is out. Elijah Mitchell is out. Trey Lance, we know, is out for the season, ankle injury. Eric Armstead is out, one of their D tackles. What was the other? Javon Kinlaw.
Another
that was the D tackle out of South Carolina that they drafted a couple of years ago. And they're like, why?
Yeah, they traded up to get him.
Here's why you buy their stock. Their defense is phenomenal. Defense is, I don't know, have the rankings in front of me, but based on
I got it for you.
They're the number 1 defense in the league.
I'll tell you right now.
Their front seven is amazing.
I'll tell you right now. Tied first in yards per game with the Buffalo Bills at 234. tied second in sacks with the Dallas Cowboys at 15. They're ninth in rushing offensively. They limited the Rams last night to 257 yards of offense. And that's what I'm saying. Oh, they're first in points allowed. Only giving up 40. They've only given up 40. They've only given up 46 points this year. And like you said, Ted, they're out with some major key contributors.
Trev, here's the other thing. Last night's first quarter field goal by Rams kicker Mark Gay was the first points allowed in the first quarter by the 49ers all season. They were the last team of anyone in the season right now to give up a point in the first quarter. So they've been shutting everyone down. The week before against Denver, we after the third inning, it was like 6-3. Their defense was phenomenal. Shut down Denver, shut down the Rams last night, and literally embarrassed them, beat them up and down the field, just bodied them all day long. They're the more physical team. They can win this way. They've proven it. They went to a Super Bowl and almost had a Super Bowl victory. And then last year they went to the NFC Championship game and came – one drive or honestly one pick away from going back to the Super Bowl. They have stars on the outside. Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Kittle is back and healthy. It doesn't matter who they put in the running game. Jeff Wilson was great last night. Elijah Mitchell. Jimmy G knows what he's doing. Okay, so here's the thing. They're 2-2. The first game of the season was a monsoon. Was just a wild game. Trey Lance first game ever starting as not the first game, but it was a bad game, and it wasn't the 49ers. They weren't ready to play Trey Lance. It just was a mess. Okay, so they lost. I kind of washed that one away, but it is what it is. Still counts. Then they come back with a victory. Jimmy G leads them home. They go 1-1. Last week, now you could see, watching them last night, now you could see Jimmy G's back healthy. He was dealing with a shoulder injury all season long. He had the surgery. He looks what Jimmy G is expected. He gets the ball out quick. He lets the playmakers play. That defense in the front seven is dominant. We were talking before. The reason why they can go back to the Super Bowl and be dominant is because I don't see many teams with their physicality.
I love that you just said that. I'm gonna jump right in because that's exactly what I was gonna say. The physicality that the San Francisco 49ers, the style of play defensively and offensively. Defensively, their front seven is better than maybe anybody in the NFL right now, led by Nick Bosa and Fred Warner. This is a dominant front seven. And then their running attack. They just wear and tear on your defense. They get you tired. I know you look at the teams in the NFC right now, really, Dallas got some injuries. But we've seen what the 49ers did to them last year. I know that the whole whatever at the end of the game, that's a whole nother story. But you saw how physical they were. Tampa's got issues on the offensive line. So that's almost a match made in heaven for the 49ers. We saw what they did going into Green Bay last year. Plus now Green Bay doesn't have no Devontae Adams. So their weapons they have an experience at the weapons with the receivers and the running backs. But that's my thing. Even the Eagles. I know the Eagles right now look top to bottom well-balanced in all phases of the game. But this is a team, the 49ers, that can match any team up in the league because of their style of play. I know that Jimmy G is not a top 15 quarterback in the league. He ain't going to throw for 400 yards and beat you in the game, but he's going to make the throws when needed. Just ask the Rams last year to get into the playoffs. Just ask the Packers how they got into. Ask the Dallas Cowboys. Just ask those teams how they done it. I know that, look, he's not there to be like, oh, he's the long-term solution. We get that. He's not the answer for them. Trey Lance eventually. But this team plays better when Jimmy G is at the quarterback position.
And here's the other thing. Their weakness last year was their secondary, and Ofungo, the second-year safety out of USC, looks like a star in the making. They also, in free agency, picked up Tre'Davious Ward from the Kansas City Chiefs, so that it gives them more depth in the secondary. Like you said, they have some injuries on the defensive line. Once those guys come back, they're going to rotate 8 guys, and they can dominate. You saw last night, they literally beat up the Rams.
They make you uncomfortable. Just go ask Matthew Stafford. All that we saw is Matthew Stafford to Tyler Higbee and to Cooper Kupp.
Right now, if I had to pick 3 defenses right now that I thought were the top 3 defenses in the NFC, it's Dallas, 49ers, and the Bucs. I still like the Bucs defense. Okay, I still think
you can't knock the Philly. You can't knock Philly. Right
no,
now.
I know, but if I had to take 3 defenses,
Patrick Mahomes wouldn't agree with you on that.
Yeah, but but Patrick Mahomes and that Chiefs, it's a whole different ballgame. But no, you could see that the 49ers have something brewing. They can win. And there's a trust in Jimmy G. You know what you're going to get. Next week they play the Panthers. Should be another win. Here's the thing. The division now is all tied. They're all 2-2. Everyone's 2-2 in that NFC West.
But you look at that NFC West realistically. Seattle, I know Seattle is maybe one of the more overachiever teams. Geno Smith is, like I said, playing like he's playing in West Virginia right now. He's just having a fun time. He's playing well beyond expectations, and he's playing then good old Russell Wilson. Let's ride, Russ. How about you right out into the sunset with Sierra? Because right now you look garbage as a team. That whole Denver Broncos team, unfortunate with Javonte Williams now out for the year. And then you got the Cardinals. I already told you how I feel about the Cardinals. I don't buy into them at all. My stock would be very down on them. And then the Rams, they just can't get it figured out when they play against this 49ers team. So this
was
this is the
6 going in the regular season. I think last time was 0-7.
and not including other than the NFC title game, the Rams have been dominated in this series. So I'm all in. I already seen what it is. So to me, the 49ers are the front runners easily in this division. And I know they're all 2-2. I get it. But this is a 49er team now, especially without Trey Lance. And I get it. Unfortunate what happened to him a few weeks back. But this team just feeds off better, and the energy and the team just kind of the chemistry. It just feels right when Jimmy G is there. When it was with Trey Lance, it just felt like it was kind of forced. Now with this team back with Jimmy G being the game manager that he is, getting Debo 19 the ball as much as he can because he is a superstar. And it's a damn shame that people, fantasy purposes, thought this guy was going to have a drop off because he is a superstar. I don't care what anybody says. You got Jeff Wilson, who looks like, you get that running back committee, and they don't have the weapons right now, too. Like, that's the thing. They got injuries. Trent Williams, the best left tackle in football, is out. He's going to be out for another month. He'll be back soon enough. And then you said it. Kinlaw's out, and then Eric Armstead. You get those two guys back to an already stout and nasty defensive line and front seven. This 49er team, I don't care what their record is right now, 2-2. Be careful, NFC. I know that the Packers have a better record. I know that the Bucks have the same record. I know that the Eagles are 4-0.
Yeah, but you can watch
the Cowboys.
Game.
But
you can look at the
you
football
can
game.
Watch exactly.
The Packers, similar to like the Giants and other teams, they're lucky to be in the position they are. Yeah. Last week they got taken overtime by the third-string quarterback, Zappe, who
played for Western Kentucky. Connor Zappe.
Kentucky, who broke the college record last year. Like college yards, passing, touchdowns, the whole 9 yards. He was a transfer. But
that's what I'm saying. They're 3-1. You can't buy into them.
Patriots should never be in that game. All right, in Green Bay should have crushed them. And then, honestly, if Tampa Bay had anybody to catch the ball, Tampa Bay probably beats Green Bay the week before. Brady was playing with no one.
That's what I'm saying. This NFC is wide open.
Easily being 1-3 right now. But listen, they are 3-1. You take the wins when you can get them.
Yep.
And that's the way it goes. You take the wins you can get them. Doesn't matter how they come about. You take the wins, and you roll with it.
I'm all in on the 49ers. I've been on them since last year. I picked them to go to the NFC title game, which they did. I'm picking them to go to the Super Bowl. I'm sticking on that all in. The stock is at an all-time high for Trev.
And the last thing with this is, this style of football can win in the playoffs. This style, it's proven. Yeah. It's been proven with this team. Don't turn the ball over. They've been this close. Get the ball to your superstars quick. It's like the Tua thing. Get the ball out to your weapons real quick. Let them do what they do. Like last night, 10-yard pass to Debo Samuel, 57-yard touchdown pass. Boom.
Ted, and that's the thing, Ted.
And then the defense is dominant and run the football, control the clock, put pressure on the quarterback. Stafford, I told you last night watching the game, it was like watching the Giant Dallas game the week before. They could not protect Daniel Jones, could not protect Stafford. And guess what? If you can't protect your quarterback, you have no chance. I don't care how good your team is.
And to finish up this, the 49ers have been this close. NFC title game, this close. Super Bowl, a few yards off of that throw by Jimmy G to Emmanuel Sanders. We could be saying Kansas City. We could be saying Patrick Mahomes doesn't have a Super Bowl right now.
And if close. And Tark the pick on that bomb down the middle of the field last year,
that's all I'm saying.
Get the ball, the game's over too.
That's all I'm saying. So they're this close. I know that they're 2-2, but the 49ers, they're legit. I don't care what anybody says. Trust me, this is a team that's not going anywhere. Ted, you just said something about a win's a win. Well, there's also a loss is a loss. And we were talking about this game, probably one of the bigger games coming into this past weekend. And you even said it. This is a game that maybe down the road, week 16, week 17, they kind of have the same similar records. You're going to be like, oh, if they have that loss, this might hurt them. Well, it might hurt even more with the way how the Baltimore Ravens, they're becoming like the Atlanta Falcons right now. You've had 2 losses so far this year with 17-point or higher leads, and you've blown both games at home. This is a team in the past few years that's actually blown a couple big leads at home. But Ted, the big question coming out of this, it's not Lamar. It's not the running attack. It's not Josh Allen. It's John Harbaugh. Did he make the right call of deciding to go for it with his guy, his MVP caliber quarterback, his superstar quarterback at the 3-yard line, knowing that it was 20-20, knowing that it was a rainstorm, knowing that this defense has kind of slowed down that Buffalo Bills team for majority of the game, and you also have, well, to some, maybe the greatest kicker of all time in Justin Tucker, Mr. Automatic. Should they have kicked the field goal and played defense and given that defense a chance, or would you have gone for it like John Harbaugh and the Baltimore Ravens did, which ended up becoming a pick in the end zone by Jordan Poyer?
This is Monday morning quarterback. Easy to, to question the decision on Monday or Sorry, we're on Tuesday now, but question the decision. But here's my thing. I'm going for it. I entrust in Lamar. That's what I do. I have a superstar quarterback. I entrust in him to make the right decision or make a play with his legs. I also look at it this way. By settling for 3, I'm still going to give the ball back to the Bills, which they could have an opportunity to score a touchdown and beat me anyways. Yeah. So, and the also way is I look, if I don't get it, at least they still got to go 90 yards. I at least have faith in my defense that we can make the stop. Yeah, we could kick the field goal, kick off, and hope even if they kick the field goal tie, we go to overtime. But, a couple of years ago, what was it, Monday Night Football? It was like 4th and 2 against the Chiefs. And he's like, what do you want to do, Lamar?
Oh, yeah, the Sunday night game. He's like, yeah, what do you want to do?
And we're like, what do you want to do? And people are like, you shouldn't ask the players. Players always want to go for it. You putting faith in your team. You know what I mean?
But is that almost a knock on the defense that you have no trust?
Trust? How many times have we questioned it? How many times have we questioned coaches? Put the ball in Russell Wilson's hand. Put the ball like.
Well, in a situation like that, yes.
I get it. Middle of the field, kick the long field goal, blah, blah, blah. I get it. It's a chip shot field goal. Justin Tucker puts it right through the uprights. They go up 23-20. Maybe that's the safe decision. Maybe that's the easy decision. But I think sometimes you got to be a gambler. You have to be able to roll the dice and say, you know what? I could lose everything, but I can win a lot more. So, and if they make the stop and they don't kick the field goal, maybe we're not questioning it. But I like it. I get it. It hurts you. Sometimes the safe decision is the easy decision, but I think in trust you look at it's Lamar. Like if you can't get open or pass, maybe come up with a better play.
It's maybe not Lamar. It's not maybe Lamar. It's the fact that the lack of weapons on that offense, other than Mark Andrews. I mean, Duvernay has been a huge surprise for them right now. Bateman has been dealing with injuries, but he's been almost like a one-trick pony. He's just a home run guy. You give him the ball, he's a 75-yard guy, touchdown, or a guy that's just nowhere to be found. This team is just a lack of weapons.
My thing is, you couldn't get 3 yards? Couldn't find a way to get 3 yards? Come up with a better play.
I get it.
Dobbins, Mark Andrews, blah, blah, blah. Lamar with his legs, RPO, something. I didn't see the play. Okay, I didn't see
the play. It was one of those plays.
It was a rollout. Didn't he throw a pick?
Yeah, rolling out toward the boundary, and he threw. But he had Duvernay open in the corner. He was a little too late. Maybe it's because of the pressure. And Poirier, with the great distance that he has, and just making a hell of a play, being one of the best safeties in the game. It was a great play by him. But I get the call. I get it. But in a situation like this, knowing that this is a type of game that you're going to eventually, maybe down the road, see this team in the playoffs, and like you said, Ted, you said it last week. You want to win games, and knowing a game like this down the road, you're going to be like, they finished 12. They finished 12-5. We finished 11-6.
Should we even be questioning this? You're up 20-3. You didn't score any points in the second half. It should have never came down.
My thing is, I don't have a problem. I like the gutsiness, but
it should have never came down to this, Trev.
Oh, I get it.
They were up 20-3. You scored no points in the second half. You didn't get anything. It should have never even came down to this play. That's the way I look at it.
Jackson will be Mahomes for Halloween and pretend to be a true franchise quarterback. Damn, Ralphie. That's hating on Lamar. You can't be hating on Lamar. Can't be hating on Lamar like that.
My thing is this. You were up 20-3. You should have never even came up to that situation. For the game to come down to you having to make a decision between kicking a field goal.
Let me ask you that. How concerning should the Baltimore Ravens franchise be right now? Because
you should be undefeated.
You've had 2 games in the past, in 2 of the last 3 weeks, that you've given up 17 plus blown leads. If you're a Ravens fan at home, how do you feel?
I'm nervous because
on top of the whole contract situation dispute that's lingering over this franchise with Lamar, this is a tricky situation.
This team should be undefeated. This team should be undefeated in the AFC. Should have a win over Miami. They should have a win over New England. They should have a win over Buffalo, where they play the whole AFC East.
Well, they beat the Jets and they beat the They beat the Patriots. They lost to the Dolphins, and then they lost to the Bills.
So what are they playing? The whole AFC East? They
Well,
played
yeah,
whole
the
AFC
Jets just
week?
did that. The Jets just went through the whole AFC North.
Wow. So
The
they played.
Jets are
So they
2-2
were
as
2-2.
well. Yeah,
So
the
they
Jets-
beat the two bad teams and lost to the two good teams, and they should be 4-0. But it's concerning more so on the defensive side of the ball that they're not able to withstand the weeds.
Or is it also that they just don't have no trust in that defense?
It's not
Like
the
for
trust,
them to
it's
go
the
for them to go for it, knowing maybe it's just the respect that they have for the Buffalo offense, or is it
Trev,
just how bad the
They
defense
gave
has
up a
been?
17-point lead. It doesn't matter. Where's the defense?
That's what I'm saying.
Baltimore
It's
always
the
prided
there's
themselves on
no.
defense.
No. That's what I was saying, Ted. Is that maybe they just don't have any trust in this defense for them to just go for two. They're like 3 points is not enough.
So exactly.
That's all I'm saying.
Go for the win every single time. Roll
And
the
especially
dice.
like you said, in the situation that they're in right now, they're at the 3-yard line. You have an MVP caliber quarterback, a superstar quarterback, Lamar Jackson. You got J.K. Dobbins back. Had a hell of a game too, coming back. You have some sort of weapons, but there's still that lack of weapons on this team. I don't know. I'm a big fan of John Harbaugh. I think he's a great coach. He's a Super Bowl winning coach, one of the better coaches during this time. But he's made a lot of calls that, well, have paid off and some calls that haven't. This is a call that didn't pay off.
You're a gambler, bro. You win some, you lose some. That's the way it goes. Hopefully you're on the better right end of the stick more times than not.
Well, you just said betting on yourself and gambling. Lamar's been betting on himself. Well, I know another man that's betting on himself, and that's for us, our New York Giants. It's Saquon Barkley right now. Look, I get it. I know we're in week 4, going into week 5. Still got 12 more weeks left. I know this is a quarterback-driven league, and we should just name it the quarterback award because that's usually the award that's given to the most valuable players. Usually,
and then the offensive player of the year goes to either the running back.
Yeah, either a receiver or a running back or a tight end. Unless Travis Kelce, yeah.
I mean, Cooper Kupp did have a unbelievable.
Cooper Kupp could have won MVP last year. He probably should have won MVP last year.
Who won MVP last year?
Rodgers won the last 2. That's what I'm saying. Like Derrick Henry 2 years ago Derrick Henry probably could have won 2. Could have won.
Was that a marching band in the background?
No, we got the family here. It was the chair. It was the chair.
Oh, somebody was about to.
We got the trumpet. We got Narco playing. Come on, best theme song in the world. It's the best entrance.
Can I tell you, son? Ever since that theme song came out and the Mets.
Oh, we're gonna be talking about the New York baseball team soon because we got playoffs teams. We got 2 playoffs.
They just got swept by the Braves this weekend.
I know they were up big. That was their lead, and now they've
ever since he's played the trumpet there, they have gone downhill.
It's such a
jinx,
typical.
Bro.
It's a typical Met. It's a typical.
They made
Met
it out like they had
right?
already won the World Series. Save it for the World Series for when he comes out or the parade.
It's just giving them excitement. You know, it's got to give them excitement. It's a franchise that's been dealing with bad.
Typical Mets because when you watch the Jeter thing, they brought out who let the dogs out in Game 3 against the Yankees. Well, that didn't work out well.
And he didn't even care because they were just the Mets to him.
And guess
what? But that's the problem.
You know what? You didn't see the Yankees bring out Enter Sandman in the middle of the year for freaking Mariano. We said we'll see at the end of.
No, they do it every time.
They didn't bring the band out. They didn't
bring never. Yeah, no.
We didn't have them on the first base line ready to go.
Because winning franchises know how to handle winning, and the Mets don't. God bless you. We're just talking about New York sports. And this has been a losing franchise for some time in the New York Giants. But right now, after 4 weeks, they are 3-1 currently slated at the 6th spot in the playoffs. If the playoffs ended today, the New York Giants would be in the playoffs as the 6th seed. Hard to believe. It's fascinating. But like I said, this season has been everything but
who will we be playing?
As the 6th seed,
Who's the 3 seed?
So the 1 seed's the Eagles. The 2 seed would probably be the Packers. The 3 seed would be the Bucks. Oh, yeah, it's perfect. Bring Brady. Come on. We'll take him on. We'll beat him. You know the Giants have great success over him. We need Eli. We need Eli/Chad Powers to come in and help us.
And San Francisco would be the 4 seed.
Yeah, and Dallas would be the 5 seed.
Oh, yes.
Oh, who would be the 7? No, who? Yeah. Oh, no, Minnesota. I think Minnesota's the 2 seed. Green Bay would be the 7 seed right now. Wow. Interesting. Yes. Yes, the Giants would be the 6th seed right now. Giants would be the 6th seed. Well, we'll see because the Giants are traveling to London at 9:30. For all the people that don't know, there is a 9:30 game again. So if you have fantasy players playing in that game, make sure you have your lineup set before 9:30. The New York Giants are traveling to London to play the Green Bay Packers. But I just said it. This has been a MVP driven award, maybe / quarterback driven award, I should say, because the past couple of years we've had amazing record breaking seasons. Cooper Kupp last year, Derrick Henry the year before, but it's been the quarterback. I'm only asking this question, and people could call me crazy. I don't really care. I don't. Saquon Barkley, what he's doing for this New York Giant franchise currently, literally carrying them on his back, or in this case, carrying from his quads, because Saquon Barkley has been everything as advertised. Like he said in the offseason, saying, F everyone, I'm going crazy. And Saquon Barkley has been going crazy for the first month of this season. He leads the league in rushing. He leads the league in total offense as a total yards as a player. The next closest is 100 yards. It's Nick Chubb, and Tyreek Hill followed by that. You see how this offense has been. And Tyreek Hill's third in total yards.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. I thought we were doing rushing.
No, rushing yards is right now. Rushing yards is Chubb. Chubb's only down it's 459 to 463, but Saquon still has the title right now. You've seen how this offense has looked, specifically the passing game. You've seen how this offensive line has looked. Other than Andrew Thomas, who's playing at an all-pro level right now, as graded as the best left tackle in football, Saquon, what he's been doing. The Giants are 3-1. This offense is 31st with a measly 139.5 yards passing per game right now. And they don't have any receivers right now. We're about to be calling Amani Toomer back.
Trev.
We need Amani Toomer back. We're trying to get Odell Beckham Jr. back. This Giant team offensively is literally Saquon Barkley is a one-man wrecking crew. So Ted, does Saquon deserve MVP consideration for the first month?
I mean, I guess so. I mean, why not? I mean, it's stats wise. I don't know if he'll get the respect that he deserves as a Giant fan. Yeah, no, I laughed. That's why I was
laughing. Is the only true.
I mean, I was just reading this. I was just baffled. Like, I just read this. It said their Giants receivers this weekend combined for 3 receptions and 25 yards.
25 yards.
Kenny Galladay was catchless before leaving late with a knee injury. How could he have a knee injury if he didn't even play? I didn't even know he was on the field. I don't know who our receivers.
That's the problem.
Listen, this is about. We have no quarterbacks. I mean, Daniel Jones hurts his ankle. Tyrod.
No, we brought back the. We brought the Fromm back. Bring the Fromm back.
Tyrod Taylor runs, and that's typical Tyrod.
That was a bad scary hit though. The way he took that. That's
because
awful.
He didn't slide.
And Saquon was playing quarterback. I mean, he's literally doing everything for this New York Giant offense.
The Giants' next 2 weeks are at London against Green Bay, home against Baltimore.
Huge test for the New York Giants. We'll see. Yeah.
Next 2 weeks, you got Packers and Baltimore. Real teams that we look at as playoff Cowboys.
Legit contenders, yeah.
I want to see him compete. I mean, does he deserve MVP consideration? Of course. Why not? Probably wouldn't be in the top 3.
Like, here's the thing.
Thing.
I'll give you the hold on.
He's been everything the Giants could ask for, right? We were watching the other day, and everyone goes, you can tell that Saquon has not been healthy the past few years, because if you just, by the mere of opening your eyes and watch the game, you can just tell the way he runs. He's running with a different style. He's running with a purpose. He's running like he did his rookie season. He's more physical. He's quicker. His breaks are more elusive.
The burst is,
The burst is there. I mean, the run the other day where he throws a screen pass and he breaks a tackle and runs back around, that's typical Saquon. Like, that's Saquon.
That's rookie season Saquon.
That's the definition. You had to show a highlight of what Saquon represents at him and then finishing the run, lowering the boom. I mean, he's been their most impressive player on their team. He's the only reason why they're 3-1. Realistically, because they have no offense. They might have the worst offense in football.
They're too bad. I mean, the Bears might have an argument with that.
Yeah, maybe the Bears. The Bears probably more so. But yeah,
even the Jets have more. The Jets have more talent. The Lions, all these teams that are probably.
I mean, it's just like the only reason why the Giants scored against Dallas was because of Saquon. Now I get the offensive line has to block too. It's not all about the running back, but and honestly, our second best player is Daniel Jones on rollout runs. He's on pace for 820 yards rushing. I looked at a stat last night. His most he ever had was like 456. He's on pace for 820 yards rushing. So, I mean, I get it. I mean, this might be the North Haven. If you don't know North Haven football, we run the old 1936 single wing offense where it's 5 running backs and everyone runs the ball. So you can have 3,000-yard rushers. But, I mean, that's the way the Giants look at it. Like, Daniel Jones and Saquon could have 1,000 yards rushing each. That's where we're on pace for.
I mean, realistically, you look
at this
because
we might not have. I mean, we might look like Army and Navy soon because I think our best receiver this year is going to have 400-yard receiver. First one.
I don't even think we're going to. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have a 500-yard receiver.
I mean,
this year.
I mean, we don't have a tight end. I mean, we got. I mean, and when I say
Bellinger's been a nice surprise. I like Bellinger.
no,
I
absolutely,
like him.
we don't have a big time tight end. We don't have anyone that does anything special. No one is.
How many? Honestly, let me ask you a question. How many tight ends are like that in the league right now?
8
Not
to
named
10.
Kelsey.
Eight to 10.
Not named Kelsey or Andrews.
Yeah, Hawkinson. I'll take Hawkinson.
Hawkinson has one big game. We're thinking he's a big time receiver.
But he's got the talent.
Break.
David Njoku's got the talent. We don't have a guy like that. That's
all guys that are what ifs. Other than Andrews, look at
the tight ends. Look at fantasy wise. Go look at the tight ends. They've been more reliable.
I get it, but other than Kelsey and Andrews, there's not really the disparity between.
There's a couple good tight ends. There's a couple good tight ends. Darren Waller, Kelsey, Kittle, Mark Andrews, David Njoku, Dallas Goedert from Green Bay. I know he's been hurt. I mean, not Green Bay, the Eagles. Dalton Schultz, I know he's been hurt, but he's a guy that makes plays. I mean, there's
let me ask you this.
Okay.
Let me ask you this. Hold on. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
No, but let me ask you this. So you just said he wouldn't be in the top 3. I get that. Okay, so out of Hurts, Lamar, Allen, and Mahomes, where's Saquon ranked then? Realistically, in your mind, after watching the first,
hold on. I know. Does he get more consideration than like Justin Jefferson or Cooper Kupp?
Yes, because literally they're 3-1 right now. They have no.
So is the Vikings.
If he's not realistic,
I'm just saying.
If he's not playing right now, this offense is almost just like you just want to turn the channel and just wait for them to come on defense and hope that their defense causes a turnover. Because right now they can't pass the ball. They can't hold on. They can't stretch the field. They don't have a big play receiver that can.
I would put him at 5 then. So
that's what I'm saying.
I guess he's deservingly so.
I mean, that's all I'm trying to say is that he's got to have some sort. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, what he did last year, carrying that team. Derrick Henry, the year before, carrying that team. I mean, it's not the first time that we've seen running backs literally be the one-man wrecking crew.
Considering that, like you said, he is the only.
I'm not going to put him over the quarterbacks because it's obviously a quarterback-driven league.
Weapon on this team. They don't have. Listen, this team has no stars on it. He is the only person.
Other than him and Andrew Thomas, this offense is non-existent. And I know Andrew Thomas is more important to the Giants' success because of the position value of being a left tackle and having an elite left tackle. But Saquon Barkley is literally a one-man wrecking crew. Daniel Jones just came back in. I give Daniel Jones his credit. Is he a great quarterback? No. But is he a great running quarterback? Yes. He makes plays with his feet, and he's a tough, hard-nosed player. He gets injured. He came in and finished the game for the Giants. But to see what this Giants – I know. To see what this Giant offense is right now, being 3-1, and I know their schedule has not been great. And the one team that they played that's probably considered a contender, they lost. And I get that. But they were still in that game. This is a tough, hard-nosed, scrappy team. And Saquon Barkley has proven what he said in the offseason. F everyone, I'm going crazy. And he's doing that right now. He's literally been a one-man wrecking crew. And it's the reason why the New York Giants are 2 games over 500, 3 wins, the most wins they've had in October. For God knows how long. At this time, the Giants usually are winless right now or barely have one win.
Did you see the stat the other day in the game? Where they were record-wise when they got their 3rd win?
Yeah, it's been like in November.
It was like they were 3-7 or like 3-9.
Dude, that's all I'm trying to say, man.
Or it took at least 10 games the last 5 seasons to get at least 3 wins.
Has it been pretty? No, I'm not going to sit here and say, yes, the Giants are one of the top 5 teams in the NFC. No, I'm not going to say that because it hasn't been pretty. This is a team that's in full rebuild mode still. But this team is scrappy. They're tough. They make it hard for 60 minutes. And this running attack. Oh, also, they lead the league in rushing. So just take that in consideration, how valuable Saquon Barkley is. They are the number 1 team right now rushing the football. So the man deserves his credit. The man deserves respect. I know that he's not going to. Did my light go off? Oh no! Oh no! The power went off.
What did they do? Shut up! Your UI bill?
Yeah, my UI bill went off. But that's the thing. I know that it hasn't been pretty for the Giants. But other than those quarterbacks, if you had to think of a guy outside of the quarterbacks, Saquon Barkley has to come first to mind as an MVP candidate.
I mean,
for skill position players.
We're talking fantasy, he's been the best running back of any of the fantasy running backs this year.
Oh yeah, without question.
Top running back.
That's all I meant.
Receivers, listen, we got it. Receivers are dominant. The game is about the passing, but like Cooper Kupp has been dominant. Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill has been great. Debo has been really good.
Yep.
So, but You know,
Devontae,
when I
you
when I
still-
look at those teams, I look at so many more weapons that each of those teams I just mentioned have. I look at the better defenses they have, the better coaching, the stars.
I don't want to discredit the Giants D because it's a solid D right now.
It's
This is a solid
but
defense
listen,
right now.
It's not as that impressive like I can mention other teams, but it's okay. We're winning games. That's why
And
I
this
think
will be a true test this week. I mean, we're playing against Aaron
both
Rodgers.
games will be. I think the Giants are undefeated in London too.
Well, they
I
played
think
the Dolphins in
I think the Giants
07.
are 2-0.
Yeah, they played the Dolphins in 07 and they beat the Rams back in 16.
Yeah. So
Good things came from both those seasons. One was a Super Bowl, and that was the last time the Giants went to the playoffs.
I mean,
actually.
listen. At the end of the day, I think a good storytelling will be what the Giants are the next 2 weeks, and hopefully, let's be honest. Let's just hope Daniel Jones can play. I hope.
It would be nice, but right now signs are pointing to maybe, possibly not playing Daniel Jones this week. That's why Jake Fromm is now signed again as being.
And Tyrod could possibly, depending on concussion protocol.
And hopefully we can get one of our receivers back, or we're just gonna have to call Amani Toomer or something. So we'll see. Andrew Thomas, keep dominating, bro. That's all I got to say. Just keep dominating, doing your thing. The offensive line will come around. Evan Neal had a nice bounce back game
There's
too.
more positivity that we can talk about with the Giants more so
I
now.
know it feels so. It's so refreshing, bro. It's so refreshing.
They are better to watch at least now. I mean, let's put it this way: we were a team last year where we were on close to our own goal line running quarterback sneaks. I mean, that's the type.
We stopped caring. I stopped caring about the Giants in week 10, maybe even less, because they were just awful. To just see them, I know they're 3-1. To just see them winning games the way that they've lost in the past, it's refreshing as a Giant fan. We will be back at the end of the week discussing. Well, we'll see what Aaron Judge does. We'll see if he stays tied with Roger Maris, or does he eventually break it and get to 62. He's got 2 games left to do it in Texas. Ain't going to be in Yankee Stadium. Plus, we'll be talking more football. More football Friday.
You know what we need to be talking about? The playoffs start Friday, bro.
I was thinking about that too. We will be talking about the MLB playoffs. Which New York team?
Wild card starts Friday.
The wild card starts. Which team? New York team. We'll see. Both New York teams are in it. The New York Mets be playing in the wild card.
All the teams are set now. Philly.
Oh, I know.
The Padres. Braves,
look at it. The Seattle Mariners are back in the playoffs for the first time in 21 years. Since Ichiro. Since the year they broke the record, 114, and they lost. Yes.
21 years.
21 years. They got a nice thing going so far. We will see. We will see how this baseball playoffs turns out.
You know what else we got to double check what our predictions were at the beginning of the season, see where we're right. Because I had the Yankees win the division. I had the Mets. Well, they of course screwed me at the end. What did I have? I had what did I have in those? Oh, I had Yankees Dodgers in the World Series.
I didn't pick the Yankees because every time we pick the Yankees, they always lose. So I just wanted to go.
And I can't believe I didn't pick Judge. Now on a guy has a contract here, I'm just going to pick him for MVP or anything.
Well, looks like don't say the word Judge because there's people that still think Shohei Ohtani should win MVP.
I didn't even know the Angels were still playing baseball.
I didn't even know that it was. I thought it was unanimous. I thought the MVP award was over with. I thought Judge already won it. I thought he had it in his locker. So
because he's a Yankee, he's not allowed to get it.
Go back to Cincinnati. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back at the end of the week. Football Friday, baseball playoffs, basketball's coming around, hockey starting. Boy, oh boy. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Sports is fully back intact. We'll see you next episode. Keys to the City. We are out.
You are now in tune to the Keys to the City podcast.